All right, so this is the Drupal core cross initiatives meeting for 2019 February 14th, and we have 4 of us. I guess a bunch of other people said they're not available, so we can have a quick meeting today. Christina, you want to start? I'll try to make notes.
Okay. Okay, then from, I don't remember what we discussed on the last meeting. Okay.
Here's our notes. So we discussed the editor role discussion going on.
Okay.
The focus task plan in place for Claro. There will be an Acquia Lightning and has some deadlines there. And then we have a goal to define MVP element for that. And Larry and Zoltan are moving forward with implementation, and the JS discussion is still to happen. That was it.
That's right. Yeah, so we had the meeting last week on Monday on the JavaScript with the JavaScript side, and we kind of set the next release's goals, and well, we decided some things like creating a JavaScript library from scratch for the React next generation and so on. Yeah, and apart from that, related with the design and UX side of the initiative, we discussed with the designers which were the goals for launching the Claro, an experimental Claro version with a minimum of components for that, and it seemed feasible. So it probably will happen. On the other side, we discussed start moving forward with some of the user tests, and it seems like some people volunteered to help together with Susanna and Danzio. It might happen at Drupal Mountain Camp. I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but the plan seems that it's moving forward. And yeah, we also discussed the Claro integration into Drupal core. There's not been any final decision here. At least it's clear that it's not going to go into 8.7 because there's no time. So at some point, there's going to be some kind of discussion and see how it's feasible, or how can we make Claro stable for 8.8, and what will be the process to do so. And I don't know, I think it's everything on the air so far, still on the air. I'm not really sure. I guess we will know better once we see how we get to this Lightning release, to see what do we have then, and see what's feasible for a sooner release. And I think that's all for us.
So do you mean it depends on the testing with Lightning, or what does it depend on?
It also depends on that, yeah. But it also depends if we are actually able to have all the needed components for the release on March, because we have the main components, a list of the main components that we have, but there are also a lot of small components, like, for example, tables. It was done, but then we have draggable tables, and we have other things. These are small components that show up, like inline forms and these kind of things, that they are kind of surprises on the way. And yeah, we have to see if we can get to the release with the needed, with something that is good enough. And from there, I think we will be able to see, I guess at DrupalCon, we will be able to at least sit with whoever we need to sit and talk and discuss it properly, the plan to actually get that into core, because we'll have enough information by then.
Mm-hmm. So would it make sense to have a meeting with the appropriate core committers? I will put this into the list. So Claro,
yeah,
Core
yeah,
and Drupal 8.8. Then we can have a meeting about that, scheduled and published, and the right
yeah.
people.
Exactly. Lauri is the best person there because he's involved and he's also core committer and everything. He knows a lot about that, and you know better than anyone than me, for example, who else needs to be there.
Yeah, I will ask him to add the. I guess I'm adding the product managers as well, and then we'll see who else should be there. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll need a list of people from the team as well. Like if Sasha is there, I don't know.
I don't think he's going to be a Drupal call, but I will ask him also anyway.
We can always call them in on the phone or like do Hangouts or whatever if that works. So we can,
that's right. That would be great. Yeah.
Can time it in a way that's feasible for them to attend.
Makes sense. That would be great.
Okay, so I added that as a proposed topic. That's a good point. So we are collecting the list of topics for DrupalCon at this time.
Thank you.
Cool. Right. Anything else that we can help with?
Not that I'm aware right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I've seen Mike arriving after you. Yeah. Hi.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
I can sort of hear you, but not too well.
Hello?
No.
Anything at all?
It's better.
We can barely make it out. It sounds like you're in a tin can buried in the ocean.
Oh, sorry, Angie. Is that any better at all?
Actually, yeah.
All right, there we go. I don't have a whole lot to report on for Migrate this week. We've just grabbing the link, but we knocked out a couple more multilingual issues last week that were submitted. We got a couple more in each of you right now. Hopefully get those RTBC this week. And, we're still on track with our plan to get that stabilized for 8.7. And do what we can right now, and then mid-camp will be kind of a final sprint push to wrap up what's left. There's not a lot. We've got it down on the last 3 or 5 issues or so. So we've got a pretty stable multilingual path going. So that's our goal. And then, like I said before, get the Drupal 6 sources and a few other cleanup things done before 8.8, and we should be good to go for Drupal 9. Appreciate the commits from everybody from the committers on the international issues, the multilingual issues. They've been helping us move along. So doing good. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So what I gathered was that you're mostly the same as last week and still moving on with the stabilizing multilingual issues. Some movement is happening on them. And then the eventual deprecation of Drupal 6 migrations is still on the plan, but it's not yet happening. And some work is going on the UI.
There is one issue in the UI that we're working through details on trying to figure out how different migrations and different modules kind of declare dependencies when you get into complicated situations where a particular module might require, multiple modules to be enabled on the old site and multiple modules to be enabled on the new site. So we do have some work going on in there, but it's not a stabilization piece. It's something we're hoping to get kind of figured out, just for, if we do have to deprecate anything before 9, that we get that in before Drupal 9. But it's still kind of something we're hammering out a little bit. I wish Adam was here. He knows a little bit more of the details on it than I do.
Yeah, no, that's. So I made note of that in the doc as well. Anything specific that we can help you with right now?
No, I don't think so. Just the same as you've been doing. You've been really good at getting stuff committed on the multilingual stuff as we get it ready. So if we keep that going, we should be fine.
All right, good. Yeah, I've been looking through the issues for all the multilingual stabilization stuff. I actually rerun my. Yeah, so let's go to Drupal 9 because it's part of Drupal 9 as well. So I can report on Drupal 9. So this week we landed optional support for Twig 2 in Drupal 9. So you can theoretically just run Drupal 8.7 core with Twig 2 and nothing will break. And obviously stuff in Contrib and base themes and Bootstrap and whatever other things that may use special things in Twig 2 and theme debugger modules and stuff like that would need to be updated to be optionally compatible with Twig 2 as well. But core itself is. And we have a testing issue that's cleverly RTBC but will not get committed, that gets rerun and tests it all the time with Twig 2 regularly. And we have some issues to make that permanent on the test bot to test with minimal and maximal requirements of core. So they test both the absolute minimum requirement and also the optional maximum versions on testbot, but that's still some ways to go. We also moved a bit with Symfony 4 support. We got some stuff committed. Unfortunately, one of them got rolled back because of side effects. Still needs to be worked out, and the 2 other issues depend on that to land. But we have 2 other RTBC Symfony 5 compatibility issues, actually, that could be committed anytime. So we are slowly getting there. Maybe we'll be done in 3 weeks. Hard to tell at this point, but ideally we could reach Symfony 4, optional Symfony 4 compatibility by 8.7. So these are mostly straight up fixes, or in some cases clever workarounds to be compatible with both Symfony 3 and 4. And so I reran my script that generates the issue dependency tree from the Drupal 9 issue and posted that on my Twitter. Or no, not yet posted. About to post that on my Twitter, but I posted that on the issue that released Drupal 9 in 2020. That shows visually the issue tree that includes stabilizing, migrate, multilingual, and support for Symfony 4 or 5 and Twig 2 and all kinds of other dependency updates, PHP unit, etc. And it's been some time since I ran the script. It's a lot more representative of what's going on at this time. And I made a few fixes to the script so that it runs better. So that's, I guess, it for Drupal 9 at this stage. I was also working with Matt Glayman. He was setting up a site with top 100 country modules, but that badly failed. So So we don't actually have testing results for the top 100 country modules. He's still having the core process running, so we get updated deprecations for core, and we cleaned up some of the deprecated stuff in core, so we get better reports. We don't get fails for SRED legacy trait anymore. And I also worked with Jennifer Hodgson on improving the API Drupal.org interface. And she proposed a simple text search interface that works for now until we have an official new structured format for deprecation messages. And I provided some UI feedback on that patch, and that will be deployed in a couple of days on api.drupal.org. So it will be much easier to filter for deprecated stuff that you can already act on and that kind of stuff in the documentation, which is great. And we also found 2 problems with Jennifer that was about to open an issue right before this meeting that are misleading deprecation messages in core. So we can even clean those things up now. So yeah, so that's it for Drupal 9. And then I guess I can report on behalf of the demo team out of the box. So they've been working along on the tour module support. So they have some tour to show you around the interface and how stuff works. And they are still debating some parts of how to implement that. And they are also working on multilingual parts. They had a bunch of issues RTBC for translations of terminology to Spanish. And they are working on actual recipe translations as well, and reworking the structure of the content import to support translations better. And they have an issue going to actually enable the multilingual modules and pondering whether that should be always enabled in Umami, or there should be a multilingual Umami and the monolingual Umami as 2 different options. I'm trying to help them work out bugs in the process and the things they find in core that look like they're not working, but may be working. So multilingual and tour are moving forward definitely, and the layouts and media are on hold, waiting for layouts and media. And yeah, that's all I can report on, I guess. I don't personally have updates on media.
I can give an update on that. We just had a call earlier today about that, where we ran down the list of stable blockers. The big one they're trying to get in first is the add media, move the add media to the actual media library patch, which is pretty close. Once that's in, it unblocks other things like OEmbed and the ability to delete media from the library and a few other ones that I forget now. So that's really good. The vertical tabs patch got committed last week or earlier this week. I forget which. I think you committed that, Gabor, so thank you. That one was really important because it laid all the foundational groundwork for the designs that Christina came up with. And so everything's kind of layered on top of that. And I think once the media add patch is in, then we're stopping with the layering patches on top of patches problem that we've had. So yeah, so good things all around there. Kicking around with media stuff. I have a blog post I'm drafting just to kind of give a general update on, the sprint and the new mocks and the work that's going on and what we're shooting for 8.7 and 8.8 and all this kind of stuff for Dries' blog. Hopefully, hopefully gonna get that done this week and get it out sometime next week, just because I think media is one of those areas that everybody really cares about, and it's fast moving and there's a lot of pieces, and so it'd be good to get people up to speed on what's happening. So yeah, that's what I've got for media. Any other questions or things I can clarify there? Sorry, I was a little all over the place, but basically, media good.
Do you have a specific thing that you think should be discussed in Seattle? There's no media topics for sure.
Me as an Angie, do I?
Yeah, UNG.
Oh, excuse me. It would probably be good to have a media discussion about like how we're gonna wrap it up in Drupal 8, because the original plan, included like an upgrade path and a migration path and all sorts of other things. And the team in email, anyway, I sent out emails as they threatened to do the other week, to all the teams to kind of find out where their 8.7 status is at and 8.8 and all that. I feel like that actually would be a good hard problem discussion to have, because I think we need release management in there. I think we need product management in there. Excuse me. And the media people to try to figure out what it would take to make media the default option available in standard, and whether or not working around some of the UX issues is a viable approach versus a whole bunch of heavy lifting of people's underlying media data. Because if we need to do that, I do not know how we finish that in like the time remaining. Media is one of those initiatives that it's like, no matter how hard you work on it, there's always more stuff that gets uncovered. Like it's sort of like, peeling the layers of an onion or whatever. So we've still got a pile of work to do just on the product side of things. Excuse me, to get that done, let alone also all the underpinnings of the, frameworky and migraty stuff. So actually, yeah, that would be a good one. I don't think I would be the right person to run that one, but I think it should definitely happen.
Yeah, I hope I think, I don't know. I think Marcus was planning to be in Seattle, but I'm not sure.
Maybe. Sean, I know, is not, but I asked Sean if he'd be willing to be called into a meeting at DrupalCon, and he said yes. So
yeah,
that's good.
I think
a
Marcos,
little bit of a tricky time.
I think Marcos is going to be there. Sorry.
Sweet. Okay, awesome.
I'm not sure, but I think all the Lula bots are going to be there.
Great. But yeah, I think we need a Jess or Catch, so probably Jess. I don't think Catch usually goes to North American ones. We would need like Gabor and myself, ideally. Gosh, sorry. As many of the media people as we can have, and then maybe you also, Christina, if there's product related things. But honestly, I think mostly it's going to be low level. Like, how are we going to move people, or are we going to move people away from files and images? One other aspect that gets talked about in this whole thing is if we had a way of handling private media that we did not want listed in the media library, that might be another approach to replicating what file and image does. So it's a thorny problem. And I think we need the people who've pushed back on not enabling this stuff until it's like got all the underpinnings. I think the people who raise those concerns need to be there, more or less. So
all right. Yeah, I was doing some spreadsheet editing to make this happen on the spreadsheet, and I think I got most of the people marked and numbers showing up, etc., which is good.
Thanks, Gabor.
Mike, do you think we need a meeting, some topic that we need to discuss for Migrate that needs core committers?
I don't think so, because Migrate with lesson for stabilization is pretty straightforward. The roadmap's pretty well set. So. Are you talking about DrupalCon or?
Yeah, Drupal.
Yeah, I know Lucas and I and maybe Adam are trying to get to sit down at mid-camp. I don't know if any committers are going to be there, but we'll kind of, at mid-camp we'll have a better idea, because the Migrate maintainers are going to actually be face-to-face for the first time. So I might, as we get closer, I might have a better idea, but I don't think so. I think the other initiatives, media, Drupal 9, is going to just kind of take over DrupalCon.
Okay. Well, let us know after midterm then. All right. Is there anything else that we can help with, or should we wrap this up and go do our work? No? In that case, thanks for coming. See you later. Have a nice
All
day.
right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.